Hi guys, this is George back here with another vlog, and today I'm here at Thorpe Park for a very special occasion. So later today I'm going to be taking part in the park's brand new VIP experience. I'm going to be climbing up Hyperia later today, which I can't wait for. So this is a brand new experience offered by the park, the VIP team, where you can climb up Hyperia, which is absolutely incredible. I can't wait for it. The UK's tallest roller coaster. So yeah, I'm going to be talking all about that later today. I'm going to go around the park, get all the updates going around, and then I'll also talk about this brand new experience as well. It costs £120, so it's not cheap. However, it is going to be an absolutely incredible experience, and as well as that, you also have to be a pass holder to take part in it as well. But yeah, I'll talk all about that experience later on. So I've just had a back row ride on Hyperia. That was absolutely incredible. I love it so much. The back row is my favourite ride. It's taken me nearly a year and over 50 rides to decide, but yes, I have now decided that the back row is my favourite row on Hyperia. It's a fantastic ride. I love it to bits. I'm so excited to climb it later. Like, when you look at the views going up there, they're absolutely incredible, but obviously you don't get to take them in for very long because you're up there so fast and then you drop down and into the rest of the layout. It is fantastic. What isn't fantastic though is stealth over here, because unfortunately it's been having a lot of issues the last few weeks. It's been closed for most of the season. God, it's loud over here. So it opened for the first couple of weeks of the season. It then closed for a couple of weeks, then it opened for a day, and it closed again, and it's been closed ever since. It can't be far off a month that this ride has been closed now, which is a big shame, because it's an incredible ride, and unfortunately, ride availability has been really poor here at Thorpe Park so far this season. I've been here to the park a few times. This is my 5th visit this year, and even when I'm not here, I still go on the app to check at the queue times sometimes, because I'm just interested to know what ride availability is like and how busy the rides are, and it's not that often. It's a regular thing. You'll see like 2 or 3 rides down at one time. In fact, at the moment, you've got Stealth closed, which has been closed for about a month. Colossus is closed, and also Samurai is closed, all at one time. It just seems like once one ride reopens, another one goes down. I looked at the app yesterday, and at about 12 o'clock, so that's 2 hours after park opening, there were 5 major rides down, including 3 coasters. It's not on. I don't know what's going on with ride availability here. Last year, Alton Towers seemed to be having a lot of problems with ride availability, and that was what a lot of people were talking about, but now it seems like Thorpe Park have got the bad ride availability. It hasn't got to as bad as what Towers did at points last year yet. However, seeing like 3 or 4 major rides closed at one point, it's just not how a park should be. You pay a lot of money to come to these parks, and then all the rides are closed. And with Stealth here, it's been closed for a long time. Yes, it is like a difficult ride to maintain. Intamin don't sell hydraulic launch coasters anymore. They are becoming a dying breed. However, it's a big shame when you come here and all these rides are closed, but hopefully it won't be too much longer until Stealth is back in operation. Something that is good to see at the park though is they've put all of these new signs up at all of the food outlets, so it basically shows whether there's vegetarian and vegan options here, whether they take card or cash payments, and also whether you can get your annual pass discount here. So yeah, you can see all the different symbols on there. So you can see at this one, veggie options are available, vegan options not available. Card payments, cash payments, they take that, you get 20% discount with your annual pass. So yeah, they've got these at all of the food outlets around the park now. So you know what to expect, rather than you go up there and then you're like, oh, do you take cash? No, we don't take cash. Can I have my annual pass discount? We don't take that. And you know a bit more what to expect. So I've just had 3 rides on the Swarm. Absolutely fantastic. See, I started off on one side towards the back. Then there was an empty seat on the front row of the next train, so I just got straight back on it. And then I went round and did the other side. Really, really good. Of course, the beach over here, nothing's going on with this yet. Still waiting for planning permission to see what's going to happen with this area in regards to Project Pivot. And then, of course, we've got this side as well of the beach, which is set to reopen at some point in May. And as you can see, the water's all been filled up. We've got the fountains on just here. So this was all freshly repainted for this year. It looks brilliant, very fresh. And then, yeah, all the water has now been turned on, which is good. So it probably won't be too long until this is going to be open. I'm really looking forward to the days where it's like 25, 30 degrees. Just coming and sitting on the beach, like maybe even going for a ride on Tidal Wave and then coming to sit on the beach for a bit. That'll be nice. Looking forward to that. Colossus has just reopened as well, so I'm going to go for a ride on there now. So I've done loads of rides since the last clip. I had a ride on Colossus, I went on Saw the Ride, another ride on Hyperia, and I did Vortex and Quantum as well. Nice to get some flat rides done as well. And now I'm here in the Megastore to come and check out some of the new merch. So of course, on the opening day vlog, I did show a lot of the new merch that was here, but since then, there's been some more stuff added. So let's have a look at it, including some pin badges here. So we've got all of the new train design pin badges now. So from opening day, we had like the Swarm one here, Colossus and Stealth, and Hyperia. Now we've got the Nemesis Inferno ones just here, which are very nice. And we've also got the Saw the Ride ones as well. So now we've got the all big 6 coasters have got their train design. And this one's my favourite. I absolutely love this. This is the 5-in-1 pin. So this is £16. Of course, you get your annual pass discount, so there's a list of the prices of all the badges. But this is absolutely massive. I knew it was going to be a big one, but it wasn't until I saw it in person that I realised how big it is. So as you can see, it's 5 different pieces there, and it's a full like map of the park. And as you can see, yeah, it's all split into 5 different pieces, so you can have them as individual pins, or you can put them all together. It's like a big puzzle. It's like a puzzle pin badge, really, isn't it? Really cool idea. I'll definitely be buying this at some point. I might buy it today. I have already bought a couple of the coaster pins though. Talking of the coaster pins, they have also come in since the opening day, so there they are. However, they've sold out in here. I did buy a couple in the Island shop earlier. But yeah, here we go. They're all the different ones you can get. This is Series 3, of course. What ones have I got? I've got Hyperia and Stealth and Colossus. I've just got Galactica. I've got the Smiler and Rita. And I haven't got any from Chessington yet. So yeah, I've got a few of them, but not all of them yet. But yeah, they have sold out in here. But yeah, I do absolutely love this pin. I'll definitely be buying that at some point this year. So I did just buy the pin badge then. I wasn't planning on it. I'd already bought a couple of pin badges this morning. So I decided to try and budget the money a little bit. It's like save some for this visit and then I can buy something else next time I'm here rather than just spend all my money when I get here. But when I was looking at it again, it's just like, I just have to have it. What if it sells out? What if it sells out? I need it now. So I did end up buying it. So I spent about 25 quid on pin badges today. So there we go. That's just how it works sometimes. I'm now going to head over to Rumba Rapids because that is testing. So that's going to be opening at the end of May. Of course, that was scheduled before the season started. I just needed a couple of extra months for some work done to it, some maintenance. But it has been testing, so let's go and have a look at it. Here it comes then. I'll tell you what, today would be a nice day for a ride on the Rapids. It's definitely not tidal wave weather. However, when the sun comes out, it is really nice. I just don't want to get absolutely soaked, but the thing is with this, you don't get particularly wet on it. You normally just get a little bit of a sprinkle. Here we go, we got another boat catching up. Oh, they're going to bump into each other. There we go. And they're off again. So yeah, this will be back open at the end of May. I've done a few more rides now. I've done Rush, Nemesis Inferno, and I had another ride on Colossus as well, which was good. Nemesis Inferno was really good as well. One of the more intense rides I've had on this season. I was towards the back of the train. It's definitely a lot smoother than it felt this last year. However, I feel like it's not as intense as it was last year. However, that was one of the more intense rides. Get yourself down towards the back of the train for a more intense ride. But it's about half an hour now until I'm supposed to be meeting up for my Hyperia coaster climb. So with this experience, or any other VIP experience that you're doing here at the park, you meet at the VIP reception at the front of the park 15 minutes after park close. Yeah, I'm going to head over there in a minute, make sure I'm there nice and early, and then of course you'll meet your VIP host over there, and then you'll get taken over to the marquee, put your harness on, and then you'll walk over to the ride, and of course start up the ride. So at the moment the queue for Hyperia is about 40 minutes, I think, so it may be a while before we're actually going up there, because of course we have to wait for them to clear out the entire queue, then they have to put the trains away in the maintenance bay and shut the ride off for the day before we can go into the ride area and of course start climbing up. So it may be a while before we start. However, I'm so excited for this experience. So before I do it, I will just talk a bit about restrictions you need to meet before going up there. So you have to be a pass holder to do this. This is limited to pass holders only. £120 if you want to do it. And also you have to have climbed either Colossus or the Swarm here at Thorpe Park, or Oblivion at Alton Towers in the last 24 months to be able to do this experience. So obviously Hyperia is a lot taller than like Colossus or the Swarm, so they want to make sure that you're not going to be getting onto this experience and then being like, oh actually I'm too scared, it's too tall for me, like I don't like heights, I don't want to go up there. Or maybe you're not physically able to climb up all those steps all the way up. Let's say for example that you've done the Swarm coaster climb and you struggled climbing up all those stairs, then obviously you're going to have issues climbing up Hyperia. So obviously that restriction's in place just to make sure that you are able to do this experience without kind of like being scared of heights, or making sure that you do have the physical requirements to be able to take part in this experience. I mean, I am so excited for this. The views are going to be absolutely spectacular. Right then, so I have now done the brand new Hyperia coaster climb at Thorpe Park. It's the next day now. It was quite late by the time it finished. So of course park close was at 5 o'clock. You meet 15 minutes after, and then it was about a 2-hour experience. By the time I got home, it had gone 9 o'clock. So yeah, it went on for a while, and that was fantastic. So I'm going to talk in detail about the full experience now. So of course I started off by meeting my group at the VIP reception area at the front of the park. So of course you just click on the button there, and normally they'll just open the door. They'll know why you're there. It's like, oh, you're here for the climb. Yep, I'm here for the climb. So then we waited in there for a bit. Spoke with. There was only one other person in there at that point. So we were talking for a bit, and then the VIP host came in to collect us at about 5:15. We then headed over to the marquee where we met the other two people in the group. So overall you can have 4 people doing this climb, and then of course you get the 2 hosts on there as well, one at the front and one at the back. I was right at the back in terms of the group, but then yeah, and then of course one of the hosts behind me, so that was really cool, especially going down as well, where you could see like right the way down, but I'll come on to that a bit later. I'm going to talk about the full experience. So we went into the marquee where we were then shown a safety briefing. So last year I did the Swarm coaster climb and also Colossus, where they just talked to you a bit about how the harness worked, what was going to happen, and all of that stuff, and about all the safety features. Now they actually get you to watch a video, which is really good. So you sit down, you watch a video. It only goes on for a couple minutes, just talking about how to use the harness, how to clip on, how to lock off, and about the experience that's about to happen. So then of course they ask if we have any questions about the video, and we then go to sign the waiver. So basically there's a waiver that you sign before. Basically so it'll say things like, I've read the rules, I understand the rules, and I'm going to stick to the rules, and you sign that pretty much just to confirm that you understand what's going on. Basically you understand the rules and you're not going to break any rules, because obviously this is a very serious thing. You need to make sure that you have the right physical condition to be able to do this. There's a lot of steps on there. If you struggle with steps, this is going to be difficult. You're pretty much saying like I have the capability of climbing up and down lots of steps, as well as that all the other rules as well as that, like no GoPros, no cameras. You're allowed to take your phone up there in a plastic pouch which goes around your neck, which is provided by Thorpe Park, but other than that with your phone in your pouch, you're not allowed to carry anything else up there. Bags you leave at the in the marquee, and then of course after all of that we then walked over to the ride. So we got the harness on and then we walked over to the ride. So we went over there, and we weren't waiting around for too long. They were just getting the trains into the maintenance bay. So what was really cool, so we went down the queue line and we went into the station and we saw the train getting garaged up into the maintenance bay, which was cool. They had already put the first one in, but we saw the second one come onto the from the brake run through the station, and then we saw the transfer track go over, and then of course they put the train into the maintenance bay for the night. So that was really cool to see. We then got a bit of a chance to have a look around the station, ask any questions. We saw that underneath of the track is like, so of course you can stand on the by the air gauge, and then you can look down at the track, and obviously when the train's there you're not normally going to be able to see all the tech that's under there, but they were talking all about the tech and what each bit does. We saw the wheels and the fog misters that blow all the fog out, and the heaters on the track, which was really cool. I did ask a question of what's the lowest temperature that Hyperia can operate in, and at the moment they currently don't know because it's actually under investigation. They're currently looking at it to because they might be changing like the wind speed that it can operate in, and what kind of temperatures it can operate in. So they didn't have an answer for that because it hasn't yet been determined what temperatures it can operate in. After that, we then went out of the station again, down the steps that you would normally enter the station in. We then went into the ride area, underneath the ride, under the brake run, to go to the other side of the station, where we then walked up the steps, and we went into the operator's booth, which is really cool. So we saw the console in there, all the CCTV cameras. We weren't allowed to take any photos at this point. There are points where most of the time you can take photos, but there will be a couple of points on this where you can't take photos. They'll make sure you know when you can take photos. They'll ask, please don't take any photos at this section, and then as soon as you're away from that section, you're allowed to take photos, they'll let you know again. So we went into the operator's panel, the operator's booth, where we locked off. This is a standard procedure when anyone's going into a ride area. You have a padlock and you put it on the control panel. That way if anyone comes in, they'll see your padlock, and also they won't be able to start the ride up because so you put it on the e-stop, that you put it on the e-stop, that prevents the ride from being able to start up. You also have your padlocks on the box as well, which shows how many people are in the ride area. So of course you go up there and you see 5 padlocks, you know there's 5 people in the ride area, and then of course once you finish you take that padlock off again. So then once we had locked off, we then went out of the station again and over towards the first element out of the station, that outer bank element out of the station. We walked right around that, which was really cool. We got to see that. We then arrived at the base of Hyperia's lift hill, where of course we latched onto the wire on there. Of course you have your harness that connects onto that, and then of course we began the climb. So there were a couple points where we stopped throughout the lift. They stopped us at the point where the track turned from gold to white, and then they also stopped us at about the point where we were at a similar height to Colossus, and then we carried on going straight up. It didn't actually take too long to get to the top. I mean, it wasn't too difficult to be honest. Like the steps were really steep on there. If you've done like the Swarm and Colossus, these steps are steeper, so do beware of that. Also, there are a lot of steps on here. There are 364 steps to get to the top of Hyperia's lift hill, so it is a lot. And it's, I think they said it was almost double what it is on the Swarm and Colossus. The Swarm and Colossus are a similar amount. I think they said it's like a 1 step difference with those two, but with Hyperia I think it's nearly double the amount, so it is a lot of steps. So make sure you are able to climb lots of steps before you go taking part in this experience. We then got to the top, where we got to admire the views, which were absolutely stunning, as you'll see by these different photos and videos that I took from the top as well. Of course, at all times your phone must stay in the pouch that is provided to you. You can't be taking your phone out once you're up there, but you can get some nice photos through the pouches. They were clean, which was good. You still got a nice view. Like I was looking at them once I got down, and I was pretty happy with how they turned out, to be honest. So we then stayed at the top of the lift hill for probably about 40 minutes. We were up there for ages, which was amazing. It was nice weather for it as well. It was nice and bright and clear, so we got to see everything. A little bit cloudy, however, it could have been a lot worse. I remember when I did my Swarm coaster climb last year, the weather was really miserable, so I was worried it was going to be like that for this, but luckily it wasn't. It was actually really nice. So yeah, we stayed up there for about 40 minutes, admiring the views, talking to the VIP hosts and talking to each other. We were having loads of different conversations, of course. Any questions you can ask, and just talking about other stuff, like we were talking about the park and the rides there, and like the past of the Merlin theme parks and the future of the Merlin theme parks. I was asking a lot of questions about the future of the Merlin parks. It's like, oh, what's the next ride coming to Thorpe Park? What's the next ride coming to Chessington? Obviously, they can't say what is happening with these parks. They did say, though, what they did say that they can share is that it's a very exciting future for Chessington, so that's the one that we're going to be wanting to keep an eye on, apparently. But other than that, they couldn't say a lot, which was a shame. But to be honest, I wasn't expecting to get many answers from those. I thought I'd ask anyway, just in case they were going to give any hints or anything, but obviously they can't give away too much at this moment, so we'll just have to wait and see for that. But yeah, Chessington is the one to keep an eye on, apparently. That's what they did say. But yeah, it was amazing being up there, seeing the views and talking to everyone. But one of the VIP hosts who I was with as well, he's going to Cedar Point at some point next month as well, which is really exciting for him. He's going to be getting on Siren's Curse. Apparently, it's supposed to open 3 days before his visit. So again, I was trying to find out when he was visiting and when the opening day is. Again, he couldn't tell us. However, what he could tell us was that it's opening 3 days, or it's supposed to open 3 days before his visit, as well as that he's going to be getting on Top Thrill 2, which I'm extremely jealous about, because I'd love to go and ride that, but hopefully I'll get back out to Cedar Point at some point. But yeah, it was amazing being up there, getting to talk about all the rides and the like the theme parks. There was some really cool moments up there as well. Like that, one of the really funny moments that I'll always remember was at one point he got us to look down and he was like, "So do you see that concrete base down there? Do you know what that's for?" We didn't know. They said it was installed over the close season and it's actually a concrete base for them to park a crane for when Hyperia valleys. It's got to that point now that Hyperia's valleying has become so frequent that they've installed a concrete base there so they can park a crane on there for when it inevitably happens again, which is absolutely hilarious, to be honest. I thought that was really funny. Another really funny moment up there as well. There was this like siren thing going off and they were like, "Do you hear that? Do you hear that?" And we could hear this alarm going off and they were like, "Do you know what that is?" And I was like, "No, what is it?" It's like, "That's a bird alarm." I was like, "A bird alarm? What's a bird alarm?" So then actually what it was every time a bird goes into the Saw the Ride station building, that alarm goes off. So yeah, one of the birds, we saw a few birds going in there actually. A few birds came in, the alarm went off and then they all came flying out again. So that bird alarm is to stop any birds from going into the indoor section of Saw the Ride, which was really interesting. As well as that, we got a cool view of the transfer track on Saw the Ride as well, talking about the maintenance bay and talking about the different levels in there. Like there's 3 different levels in there. Of course, you've got the maintenance bay on the ground level, the station on the 3rd level, and then you've got the drop that goes down onto the 2nd level, and then of course you've got that kind of mid-course section where you've got all the air cannons that fire at you just before you drop down and into the inversion before you go over to the lift hill. So yeah, that was really cool to talk about, as well as all the other rides. The VIP host has also been down in the Slammer Pit. We were talking about what the future is for that area, and he was saying that, again, he couldn't really answer what was going on with that, but he did tell us that he'd been in the Slammer Pit, and it was really cool being down there. I'd love to be able to do that. That must be cool. But overall, it was amazing. Then, of course, having loads of conversations up there. It wasn't taken too seriously as well. Have a few laughs, have nice conversations. It definitely didn't feel rushed at all either. It's like, if you had enough time up here, we can stay up here for a bit longer if you want. It's literally like for the first like 30-35 minutes there was no questions asked about like, do you want to go down yet? It was like, just stay up here, have as many conversations as you want, ask as many questions as you want, ask whatever you want. Of course, obviously, depending on what you ask, it may or may not get answered. As with a lot of my questions, I did have a lot of questions that weren't able to be answered. I wasn't expecting to get any answers. However, I thought I'll ask anyway just in case I can get some kind of information, but no, they can't say too much about that, which is a shame, but understandable. And then of course it got to about 35 minutes up there. It's like, right, should we have another 5 minutes up here and then we'll start making our way down? So yeah, we had another 5 minutes talking away, and then we started to make our way back down. The first cut, like the 2 at the back, we were quite fast getting back down, but the 2 at the top, behind us at the front, originally going up, they were taking a while to get down, so we did get to stop about halfway down the lift hill again while we waited for them, just to enjoy the views a bit more and talk to the VIP host a bit more as well. And then they caught up and we all made our way down, and then of course we had some photos at the bottom of the lift hill. This has become an iconic part of the Hyperia coaster climb now. The Hyperia climb photos, they call it, the official Hyperia climb photos, where we have a nice photo at the base of the lift hill. So of course we get detached from the wire on there, and then we climb up the first little set of steps where we can sit up there, have a photo. So that was really good. They took it in turns, taking our phones and taking photos of us up there, which was really cool. We then had a bit of time to walk around underneath the base of the lift hill and just have a look around there, and over towards the outer bank outside of the station. We had a photo at the outer bank, which was really cool, and you'll see that coming on screen now. So yeah, then it's like, have 5 minutes now, just wander around, have a look around. Obviously don't go too far, don't go anywhere you're not supposed to, just
go and have a look around. It's like we got to like go right underneath the track and all the workings of the track, and like we got to touch the track as well, which was really cool. And then we went back into the station where we got to have a look around the station for a bit. Of course, there was no train in there at that point, so they pretty much just said if you want to have a look around the station, go ahead. Like we were able to get right up close to the track. Like we were allowed to like crouch down where the train would normally be and have like a really close up look at the track. We had some photos over by the end of the station where you come back in as well. Like after your ride, after you come back into the station, we had some photos over there. And then after that, we went back into the operators panel where we locked on again, where we got our padlocks back. We unlocked our padlocks to make sure, right, there's no padlocks left, no one's in the ride area, so that's now safe to be started up again, even though obviously it wasn't going to be because it was the end of the day. But yeah, that now would show that there was no one in the ride area. And then after that, we then took a leisurely stroll back to the marquee, which, yeah, we were talking again a bit more and talking more about the future of the parks. I couldn't get enough of trying to ask as many questions like, what's the future for Chessington? What's happening? What's happening with this? What's happening with that? Oh, is Project Horizon still happening? Is it Minecraft coming to Chessington? Things like that. Obviously, again, they couldn't say too much. But then, yeah, we headed over back into the marquee where we were then given our certificates, a lanyard with an ID card, and also a special pin badge as well for the experience, which was really cool. And then after that, we made our way back into the dome, talking again. Like even in the dome, we were standing in the dome for probably about like 10 minutes just talking again. It was really cool though. It wasn't rushed at all. Like overall, it was about a 2-hour experience, which I was really, really impressed with. We'll say like an hour in terms of like climbing up, staying at the top and climbing back down. And then probably about like we were walking like to the marquee, then we stayed in the marquee for like 15-20 minutes getting the harnesses on, watching the video, talking again, walking over to the ride, and then of course walking back to the marquee, giving certificates, asking more questions, and then also talking again in the dome. So then they lead you back to the dome where they then say goodbye. That's the end of your experience. Hope you enjoyed it. And overall, it was a fantastic experience. I loved it. 10 out of 10 experience. Was it worth the money? Absolutely. £120 is a lot of money, and of course when you're spending that amount of money, you want a top tier experience, and that is exactly what this was. I was extremely impressed with the experience. The hosts were friendly, the views were stunning. It was absolutely incredible. I definitely feel like I have my money's worth. I absolutely loved it. I really want to do it again. It's like, I mean, if it was a bit cheaper, I'd probably look at doing it again later on in the year, but because it is £120, I'd probably give it a few years before I was to do this experience again. However, it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. And they were talking about like the Saw behind the scenes tour as well. You can do the Saw the ride behind the scenes. That's definitely the VIP experience that I'm going to do next, because they were talking about that and how that's the best one out of the behind the scenes tours. They were really bigging that up. So yeah, I really want to do that now. So I'm definitely going to be doing that at some point this year. But overall, yeah, it was fantastic. Of course, you do have to be a pass holder if you want to do this experience, and you have to have climbed one of the other coasters at the park as well, or Oblivion at Alton Towers within the last 24 months, just to prove basically that you're not gonna, like, obviously they don't want you getting up there and being like scared of heights or whatever. Obviously if you do get halfway up and you're scared and you don't want to carry on, they will take you down. They did specify that before we went over, and they're like, if you do have any problems and you want to go back down, we will take you back down. So if you do have any problems, they'll be happy to assist. But yeah, it was incredible. I definitely recommend it to anyone. If you're booked onto it, you're going to have an amazing experience. If you haven't booked onto it, definitely get booked on, because it is a fantastic experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. But that's now the end of this video here. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at George Kelly and follow me on Twitter at George Kelly. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, everyone, and I will see you all later. Bye.